Doctors said he'd never walk again, but he kept trying, step by step, and one day, he ran, because impossible isn't forever. The hospital smelled of antiseptic and quiet sadness. Machines beeped in steady rhythm, like the heartbeat of a building that refused to rest. On a small bed near the window lay a 10-year-old boy named Lior. His legs were covered in white casts, motionless, fragile. Outside, other kids ran and played, their laughter echoing faintly through the glass, a painful reminder of what he'd lost. Months earlier, Lior had been hit by a drunk driver while walking home from school. The accident shattered both his legs and nearly his spirit. Doctors told his parents the truth they didn't want to hear. He might never walk again. His mother broke down. His father went silent, the kind of silence that comes from heartbreak, not anger. Nurses whispered, "He's lucky to be alive," but Lior didn't feel lucky. He felt useless. Broken. Like a toy that no one wanted to fix. Every morning, the physiotherapist came in, gently stretching his stiff legs, saying, "We'll try again tomorrow," and every day, Lior thought, what's the point? The pain was too much. The effort felt hopeless. It was easier to close his eyes and dream of the days when he used to run, but even dreams began to fade. Then, one afternoon, a new nurse walked in. Her name was Clara. She was cheerful, with a calm smile that somehow filled the room. She hummed while changing his bandages, a tune Lior didn't recognize, but it comforted him. He noticed something shining on her wrist, a silver bracelet engraved with 2 words. "Keep moving." "You don't talk much, huh?" she asked softly. Lior shrugged. "What's the point?" "I can't even move." Clara smiled gently. "Funny thing about movement. It always starts in the heart before it reaches the legs." Her words stuck with him, simple, but powerful. The next morning, Clara brought a small mirror and placed it near his bed. "Look," she said. "Every time you try, no matter how small, I want you to look in this mirror and see the face of someone who didn't give up." Lior frowned. "It hurts too much." Clara knelt beside him, looking right into his eyes. "Then let the pain remind you that you're still alive. And as long as you're alive, you've got another chance." That day, something inside Lior shifted. At first, he could barely lift his legs an inch. His muscles screamed. His hands trembled. But Clara kept encouraging him, gently, firmly, lovingly. "Again," she whispered. "Just one more time." Some days, Lior cried. Other days, he refused to move. But Clara never gave up on him. She told him stories about athletes who started with broken bones and ended with gold medals. She showed him pictures of kids who had once been in wheelchairs, now running marathons, and slowly, those stories began to light something deep inside him, hope. Weeks turned into months. Lior went from sitting up for 5 minutes to standing for 2 seconds. His parents started believing again. His mother's eyes filled with tears each time he held the bars, sweat dripping down his face as he whispered through the pain, "I can do this. I can." But one morning, Clara didn't show up. When Lior asked about her, the head nurse said she had taken a leave. Lior felt a strange emptiness without her voice. But her words kept echoing in his head. It starts in the heart before the legs, so he kept going. Alone this time, he practiced every morning. He fell dozens of times. Each fall hurt, but each one made him stronger. Every time he looked in that mirror, he saw a boy who refused to give up. Then, one quiet evening, while his parents watched, Lior took a step, then another. And another. His mother gasped, covering her mouth as tears streamed down her cheeks. His father couldn't speak, he just stood there, frozen between disbelief and joy. The doctors who once said never, now stood in silence, watching the impossible unfold before them. Months later, Lior was finally discharged. The day he walked, truly walked, out of the hospital doors, the sunlight touched his face, and he whispered, "Clara. I did it." But when he asked about her at the front desk, the receptionist frowned. "There's no nurse named Clara on staff here." Lior blinked. That's impossible. She helped me for months. The receptionist checked again and said quietly, we haven't had a nurse by that name in years. Lior looked down at his wrist. The silver bracelet Clara had given him was still there, glowing softly in the sunlight. Keep moving. He smiled. Maybe Clara wasn't meant to stay. Maybe she was sent just long enough to remind him that hope can heal more than medicine ever could. Years passed. Lior grew stronger, confident, unstoppable. He began visiting hospitals, meeting kids who had lost faith, repeating the same words Clara once told him. It starts in the heart before the legs, and every time he watched a child stand again, he whispered to himself, thank you, Clara. Moral: never let someone else's you can't decide your destiny. The body may fall, but the heart, it always knows how to rise. If this story touched your heart, hit subscribe and join our family of dreamers and fighters. Because around here, impossible isn't forever.